Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And on this stream, we take a look at things through the lens of an industrial point of view. So we'll be looking through some of the news that's going on out there, out in industry, whether things are being, more things are being built, more plants, or things being shut down, whether there's more strikes going on. What's going on out there? It's important to know these things about what's going on. That way it will directly affect the economy that we live in here. We'll also check some articles on the shortage of the skilled trades, which I know there is out there. I've seen it. I'm living it. And then we'll have a look at the our accident investigation. We'll go over an incident that's happened during the past few years. And it should relate to us in a way, so we'll have to be we'll be cognizant of the what goes on there. We'll analyze it a bit, and I always get you guys' help with that. You guys are pretty good at analyzing things. And then I'll also have the usual pictures and videos of some of the things I've been working on, and I know you guys like that. You guys always do like picture time. But first, let's get to the news, courtesy of Plant Magazine. The accident around and find out segment. Yeah, there you go. Godzillionaire, how you doing? Everyone's favorite kaiju showing up. Let's get to the news. Haven't really seen anything until this one popped up. Ottawa invests $3.4 million in Ontario steel and fabrication firms. So the province is giving money to these companies. But what's it all about? The Government of Canada has approved more than $3.4 million in funding for 4 Southern Ontario manufacturers through the Regional Tariff Initiative. According to an announcement made January 12th in Welland, the investments are intended to help businesses modernize operations, protect jobs, and improve competitiveness amid ongoing trade disruptions. So it sounds modernized. When they say modernize operations, it sounds like they're out of the Stone Age there. I mean, it's probably a misnomer. They're trying to cover up the money that's getting thrown around. Hey, what's up, Fabric? How you doing? So, double AFO, you betcha. Accident around and find out. And I got a good one today, so you guys, it'll apply to us all. So you guys just you wait for that. I picked out a good one. The announcement was delivered. Evan Solomon. They didn't even was delivered by. They don't even have proper grammar. The announcement was delivered by Evan Solomon, Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation, and Minister responsible for FedEv Ontario, during a visit to Kit Steel, a reinforcing steel rebar fabricator. According to the government, the funding will allow recipients to undertake time-sensitive upgrades aimed at strengthening supply chain resilience, adopting new technology, and supporting long-term operational stability. Pretty fancy words there for wasting money, giving free money out to their buddies, I'm sure. A backgrounder released with the announcement outlines the 4 projects. Havelock Metal Company gets $750,000 to expand operations by adding an advanced mill to produce new panel profiles, supporting product diversification and vertical integration. Kit Steel gets $655,000 to modernize production infrastructure and help the company to adopt state-of-the-art rebar fabrication systems, improving operational efficiency and strengthening competitiveness. So state-of-the-art rebar fabricating. Okay. Rebar. There isn't much to it. Like, get it from the foundry after they cast it. That's about it. I mean, it's not like you have to mill it or anything like that. It's freaking rebar. Anyways. Steelcon Fabrication gets $1 million to establish an automated structural steel and joist fabrication shop to increase throughput and precision at its Welland and St. Catharines facilities. to increase throughput and precision. So you're not already precise already. You need that money to increase your precision. Yeah, sure. Sure you do. And Titus Steel gets $1 million to expand fabrication capabilities with specialized equipment for wear, impact, and tool and die steels. All right. It's sad if the article had been AI written, it would have been correctly spelled. Did Ranjit from Help Desk rate this? Yeah, it was just probably offshored to India there where they did it. The government states the RTRI will provide up to $1 billion to small and medium-sized enterprises impacted by tariffs, supporting efforts to diversify markets and adopt technologies that improve competitiveness. I don't know. Sounds fishy to me, you guys. Sounds like they're just giving away money. I doubt it's going to be used for the things that it says here. But, you know, you'd have to get somebody that works there to tell you if that's really happening. Next up, more money being given away. Look at this. Federal government commits more than $50 million to the GTHA manufacturing businesses. I think that stands for Greater Toronto Housing Authority, maybe? GTHA? Oh, Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Okay. The government of Canada has announced more than $15 million in repayable funding for 8 businesses in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area to help support scale-up efforts, technology adoption, and product development. It's a slush fund with buzzwords. Because that's all you have to do, really. Blah, blah, blah. And we're going to do blah, blah, blah innovation, blah, blah, blah scalability, blah, blah, blah greenhouse initiative, blah, blah, blah. And the money comes rolling in. Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do. Throw those buzzwords out there and they'll be knocking down your door to give you money. The announcement was made January 13th in Scarborough, Ontario by Evan Solomon, this guy again. According to the federal press release, the investments aim to help companies build production capacity, strengthen supply chains, and maintain competitiveness in domestic and global markets. Again, another. And now it's going to spell out what's the money's going to each company and what they're going to do with it. $1 million to add new manufacturing equipment and support entry into the electric vehicle market. Oh, that might be a bad idea. It's a tool and die company. What does a tool and die company need to enter the electric vehicle market for? Blah, 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 agile and inclusive, blah, 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 DEI, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, tool and die companies, they make the tools that you use to build these machines and cars, don't they? I don't know. I think it's a big mistake because, as we all know, the electric vehicle market has slowed down because they've stopped giving subsidies to people to buy electric vehicles. So, yeah, I think it's a mistake to go into the vehicle market. Cellplast metallized products, they get a $1.6 million for advanced equipment to increase production of metal coatings and transparent film products. Okay. GH Power gets $2 million to scale production of high purity alumina and hydrogen, including continuous production and shipping capabilities. Hey, Godzillionaire, look, hydrogen. They didn't say hydrogen fuel cell, though. They just said hydrogen. Hitachi Rail gets $3 million to advance its next generation cell track communications-based train control technology, incorporating AI and 5G and advanced sensors. Personally, guys, I don't want AI or any of that garbage controlling trains. Those things are heavy and big enough. I'd rather have people behind the wheel and controlling that thing. Imago Foods, they get $1.5 million to adopt advanced manufacturing equipment for processed meat and ready-to-eat meal production. Okay. Paradigm Shift Technologies. There's a freaking front if I ever heard one. Like, that's got to be a fake business. Oh, what do you guys call yourselves? Oh, we're Paradigm Shift Technologies. Uh-huh. They're going to get $1.6 million to commercialize its enhanced physical vapor deposition coating technology for defense and industrial applications. Physical vapor deposition coating. Okay. So, paint? Redstone Food Group, they get $2 million for advanced machinery and AI-driven quality control systems to support new baked goods products. What does AI know about baked goods? How is it going to do its quality control on all its baked goods? Quantum Bridge Technologies, $2.7 million to develop and commercialize quantum-safe cryptographic cybersecurity solutions intended to protect critical infrastructure from future quantum computing threats. Oh, man. Like, that's just ridiculous. So you're giving them extra money so they can develop quantum-safe cryptographic cybersecurity. I mean, if AI is so damn smart, it won't be able to figure this out. It won't be able to bust through all the cryptographic stuff. Yeah, so vaporware. Yes, fabric. That's exactly it. Oh well, these businesses are getting taxpayer dollars, supposedly for improvements. I don't believe it for a second. What's this? CES Transformers opens expanded Markham, Ontario facility. Okay. Will this be some good news? Yeah, Godzilla, quantum bridge technology. Yep. CES Transformers has officially opened an expanded 160,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Markham, Ontario. According to a company announcement issued January 13th, the expansion is expected to add more than 150 advanced manufacturing jobs in the area by 2030. The company says the larger facility will more than triple its current production capacity for distribution of small power transformers. CS stated that the investment responds to rising demand for higher volume and higher power transformers in Ontario and across North America. This is a good day for our company and for North America energy market, said Adam Burke, president of CS Transformers. Canada's electricity demand is projected to double or even triple by 2050. And meeting that challenge requires a strong domestic supply chain. Our expanded facility ensures we can deliver customized, high-quality transformers right here at home, supporting customers, creating jobs, and strengthening the grid for decades to come. According to the release, federal and provincial representatives and industry members attended the grand opening event, which included a tour of the new site. Growing demand for affordable, reliable, clean electricity means we need a resilient domestic supply chain now more than ever, said Tim Hodgson, Federal Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources. Yeah, CES Transformers, more than meets the A. Quantum bridges are so 20th century. Quantum revolving doors are the future. Yes, Fabric. I like those revolving doors. Did you know that Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door? One of the little tidbits I heard out there. CES Transformers expanded market facility is exactly the kind of investment our new federal government supports, creating good skilled jobs, strengthening local energy security, and ensuring we have the infrastructure needed to power our economy for decades to come. The government of Canada is contributing a total of $5 million of taxpayer money towards the project. This includes $2.75 million from FedDev Ontario to support expanding manufacturing capabilities and high-efficiency power transformers, and a $1.4 million contribution from the National Research Council. CES says the transformer shortage in recent years has been a major supply chain constraint for energy infrastructure projects. The company reports that it's invested nearly $100 million in helping address this gap and support growing electricity demand in North America. CES noted that the expansion aligns with federal and provincial goals to increase domestic energy capacity. It's a family-owned business and it's been operated in the electrical transformer sector for nearly 40 years. Yeah, all right. Well, they're getting them out there as long as they build a good product. You build good products, people will go and buy it. Especially if they're in the right the niche there that they need to be in for their size of transformers. But that's, I think that's it for the news. Yeah, there's not a lot today. Correct you if you're wrong, but doesn't South Korea have a lock on the small transformer? I don't know if they do or not. Something, lack of energon. Yes, Starscream. We must find the energon. You silly guys. Anyway. We could look that up, Fabric. Go here. South Korea small transformers. Ha! You got the toys right off the bat. Oil immersed transformer. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Or is it Thailand? Because ladyboys? Oh! Boo! You suck. All right. We'll move along to some articles here. This is from The Economic Times. Actually, it's from MSN.com, so take it with a grain of salt. Pays $120,000 a year, yet no takers. Inside the job Americans keep turning down. Get it? Small transfer. Yes. I can't believe I fell for that. Just give me a minute here. All right. Let's see. The United States is facing a deep and growing skilled trade workforce shortage. This was happening 20 years ago. This is nothing. This isn't brand new. Even as tens of thousands of high-paying jobs remain open across critical industries, roles in automotive repair, construction, manufacturing, and emergency services are at the heart of this gap, offering salaries that can reach six figures. Yet, qualified candidates are scarce. You heard that now. Qualified candidates. Major companies like Ford currently have roughly 5,000 open mechanic and technician positions, paying up to $120,000 annually. Whew, man, that is damn good pay. Yeah, exactly, Alex. It's been talked about for years and years. Yeah, it's nothing new. This is nearly double the national median wage. The shortage emerges in a labor market with strong overall job creation but a limited supply of skilled workers. U.S. training programs produce about 1.25 million qualified skilled trades graduates each year, while nearly 2.9 million trade-related positions remain unfilled, leaving a shortfall of roughly 1.7 million workers annually. Hey, it's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? How you doing, man? I'm about to vote for the 51st state status to work for Ford. Auto strikes so much the pay is huge now. Yeah, I guess, eh? No, it's crazy. But I'm not an auto mechanic, so I would have to start from zero again. Right at the bottom, be an apprentice. That's okay. I'll stick with being a millwright. I'm good with that. Structural factors compound the problem. Declining enrollment in vocational training, retirement of experienced tradesmen, and a societal preference for four-year college degrees. over hands-on career pathways have all contributed to this growing mismatch. Industry leaders warn that these gaps could hinder economic resilience, infrastructure projects, and manufacturing growth, especially as sectors like green energy, logistics, and advanced manufacturing expand. While some initiatives aim to train and attract workers, analysts say broader workforce strategy reforms are needed to meet the demand. Better than a mill wrong? Yes. You don't know how many times I've heard that, Derek DJ. High pay, high demand. Why mechanics are hard to hire. Automakers are struggling to fill skilled positions despite above-average compensation. Ford CEO Jim Farley reports thousands of open mechanic and technician roles, many with salaries reaching $120,000 annually, yet applications remain insufficient. The challenge stems from workforce readiness and skill requirements. These roles demand years of hands-on experience, technical certifications, and knowledge of complex systems, like EV components and diesel engines. That's separate. Don't conflate being an auto mechanic, being able to work on a diesel engine. That's what you have heavy-duty mechanics for. I know that there's passenger cars that have diesel engines, but you'll have to get special training for that. Same with EV components. You'd have to probably get special training for that because of the high voltages and such. So you have to be very careful with that. So don't say that you can't, don't say that they can just come out and do this job with diesel engine EV. They expect mechanics to have a degree? Well, there's your problem. Entry barriers remain high. Apparently, entry barriers remain high. We'll see. What are they coming up with now? Even as manufacturers increase wages, improve benefits, and remove lower pay tiers, the number of trained candidates continues to lag behind demand. This indicates that the shortage is not solely about pay, but also about skill availability and training pathways. So, skill issue is what they're saying. You did see that in some fields, the large amount of unfilled job openings is a lie. HR opens recs, never interviews or hires just to justify their own. Oh. Yeah, they're afraid too, I bet. You got to watch out for those guys. They are very sneaky and underhanded. So be on guard with HR. They'll come across as being friendly and they want to, well, we're here to help you. No. They are there to help the company. They are not there to help you. They're called human resources, but it's just a moniker to put you at ease and fool you into thinking that they're your friend when they're not. They are there for the company. Don't let them ever tell you different. Experts describe this trade worker shortage as a structural issue spanning education and industry. Vocational and apprenticeship programs, once central to developing trade talent, have been seen decades of underinvestment. Today, many high schools no longer emphasize trade careers, and fewer young adults pursue career and technical education programs despite rising wages in the trades. Also, I'm blaming the schools for that. They have to push it more. They have to let them know if they just keep quiet about it, they are being complicit in the helping with this shortage. They have to. Their job is to teach, and they should have the pass the knowledge on to them that let them know that there is trade jobs out there. You got a Cummins plant here in your state? Nice. Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy duty or heavy equipment technician stuff right there, Alex. And they make a good engine. I mean, look at Dodge they used to. I don't know if they do anymore, but I think Dodge put the Cummins turbo diesel in their truck and people just loved it. Your shop classes in schools? Yeah, I know. I know they don't do that anymore. The aging workforce compounds the issue. For every 5 trades workers who retire, only 2 enter the field. Current analysis shows roughly 4 trained workers are available for every 10 open trade jobs, highlighting a persistent mismatch between preparation and labor demand. While some sectors report modest increases in vocational enrollment, growth is too slow to meet the urgent national demand for skilled labor. You've never dealt with the HR department, but you're guessing it's a lot like dealing with the BIA. Please enlighten me what the BIA is, Fabric. I don't know what that is. Bureau of Internal Affairs or... The short says wide-reaching implications for manufacturing, construction, and infrastructure. Federal investments include major infrastructure initiatives and technology-driven projects, rely on skilled labor for timely completion, yet gaps in the workforce threaten project timelines, add costs, and strain employees seeking qualified personnel. Strain employers, I should say. Roles in electrical work, welding, HVAC systems, and heavy equipment operation are projected to continue growing through 2030. These gaps intersect with national priorities, including resilient supply chains, renewable energy expansion, and advanced technology deployment, all of which require trained technicians. Some companies have launched targeted training programs such as tuition fees, free apprenticeship. Wow, free apprenticeships. And internal skill-building initiatives, but experts stress that national workforce planning and investment are essential for sustainable long-term labor supply. Yes. The Bureau of Indian Affairs. Okay. They try and ride herd over us. Tribal. I see. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. I mean, they can try, but they're not going to succeed, right? Okay, so that's what's going on there. Well, it's as I've said before, and you guys know I've said it lots, is they got to start opening the eyes of the children in junior high and high school. Let them know, hey, look, you don't have to go to college. You can go to a trades job. You won't have to have a mountain of debt, and you can work with your hands, and you don't have to worry about studying so hard as you would in a 4-year college. And it doesn't have to be 4 years long either. Hey, Veritex, how you doing? Let's just cut along to the next one. This is from a place called Connected World, rebuilding the pipeline, investing in the future of the skilled trades. I'm assuming it was written by this woman here. Doesn't say it is, but 120K isn't enough? Really, Alex? Study? College? Ha! Yeah, right, that's right. Well, no, aren't they teaching them to be activists and such like that? How to be intolerant and not listen to other people's ideas? 120K, I guess it depends on where you live, Alex. That should be more than enough to live, don't you think? What's the recent talk from Ford and perhaps other companies about so many empty bays isn't about needing more mechanics, because most mechanics need at least 2 bays, if not 3, to really be efficient. Messy, are they? They have to have a couple of bays going. All right. Well, let's have a look at this article here. In the past few years, there's been a renewed interest in working in trades. I've personally heard it talking to friends and seeing growing interest in the media as well. The numbers seem to back this up as well. Not in San Francisco. Yeah, definitely depends on location, Alex. Yeah. I don't know what the cost of living is like where you guys are at. I know there's probably states where it's a lot cheaper. I would think like Montana, Wyoming, and all that should be pretty cheap cost of living. Whereas California and New York and all that, you're going to be really expensive. Hey, it's Aris. Hey, Aris, how you doing? Things are going all right. We're just going to go over this article here. And as Godzilla pointed out, it looks like a Karen childless Catwoman with liberal arts degree explaining why we need more tradespeople to fix her plumbing. We'll have to see. It's her blog, so. She says she's talked to some friends and saw stuff, so let's have a look. If 120K ain't enough, move. Use that 120K to go to a cheaper place to live. The U.S. Department of Labor suggests there are more than 2,300 new apprenticeship programs nationally and nearly 300,000 new apprentices. This is up for more than 241,000 new apprentices that entered the national apprenticeship system in fiscal year 2021. In fact, we have seen somewhat steady growth in the past decade and a half, with slight dips in 2017 and 2020. Plumber is a fine trade. It certainly is. Plumber is definitely a fine career. These numbers just represent new apprentices too. We'll continue to see a steady incline of active ongoing apprentices. The success stories are exciting too. Consider Tanner Clugston, who was an apprentice during college breaks. His experience helped him achieve an academic scholarship and an engineering internship. Meanwhile, Cole Barnhart was able to use an apprenticeship to get a job right out of high school, ultimately leading to a better career down the line. These young adults took part in JLG's School to Work program, which allows high school juniors and seniors local to its manufacturing facilities in McConnellsburg, Shippensburg, Bedford, Greencastle, and Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, to earn school credit while working paid roles in welding, assembly, painting, fabrication, warehouse support, and more. Students receive real-world experience, mentorship, and the chance to transition into full-time roles after graduation. Depends on the part of the state. Cola's higher here than over by Cheyenne. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't know that stuff, Fabric. Some might say plumber is a super career, especially if you work with your brother. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And you rescue the occasional princess. While JLG places a strong emphasis on cultivating future talent through school partnerships, it is just as committed to supporting those already working in the trades. Through internal training and upskilling programs, the company invests in current team members and new hires, helping them move into high-demand skilled roles, such as welding and industrial painting. These programs not only strengthen individual career paths, but also reinforce the long-term stability of the workforce. So JLG is doing it right. They're going out, they're going to the high schools and such. They're getting their workforce before they even have a chance to go into a college or anything like that. They're like, no, you come work here, you get paid, you work part-time, you learn, and you stick with us. Maybe they're trying to get some loyalty from them, It's like, well, we gave you your first job, blah, 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 blah. You earned good money. Oh, Kickbot. Well, I thought I made it so that they couldn't send me a message unless they followed me. Anyway. More broadly, JLG is taking a deliberate people-first approach to addressing the skilled labor shortage and rebuilding the talent pipeline. The company worked closely with high schools, technical colleges, trade associations, and industry organizations to introduce students and job seekers to meaningful careers in the trades. By collaborating across education and industry, JLG is helping remove barriers to entry and create clearer pathways into skilled professions. There you go. JLG doing something. Ultimately, is a story about opportunity, mentorship, and hands-on learning, where individuals can see a direct connection between effort and outcome. As interest in trades continues to grow, programs like these demonstrate how intentional investment in people can strengthen communities, fill critical workforce gaps, and redefine what a successful career looks like for the next generation. More waifus to channel for growth pops. More waifus. We demand more waifus. Well, there you go. Have a look. That's Robin, Nico Robin from One Piece. More waifus. But that's the end of that article. Good to see JLG's doing all right. Although I think I recall reading an article to you guys before about them doing this. This Laura just sort of repeated everything that was written. It doesn't even say this was written by her. It's just Laura's blog. And it doesn't even say it was written. Whatever. All right. Next up, guys, it's accident investigation. This is a fall from a roof causing a fatal injury to a painter. So some of us guys climb up on the roof to do things. whether it's for work or at your house. So you have to be careful climbing around on the roof. I know a lot of times they'll even have a fall arrest system set up so that you have to put on a harness so that you can be save yourself if you're falling from the roof. It'll be like a fall restraint. Okay. Here's the summary. 2 workers were painting the roof of the Murrad building in northwest Edmonton. The painter 1 fell after contacting a 13.8 kilovolt power. Oh man, he got zapped. He contacted the power line adjacent to the north end of the building. Painter 1 fell approximately 9 meters. That's like 30 feet. To the ground. Painter 1 was fatally injured and pronounced deceased by the scene by attending paramedics. Oh. Yeah, accident time. It's accident time. You see many fall from roofs in your lifetime, even yourself during Christmas. Like, Alex, damn it, you be careful there. It's most of the time guys falling off of ladders or falling from the roofs on their own home. All right. Background information. WC Roofing was a small roofing operation run by 2 owners of the company. Specialized in flat surface application of a rolled-on rubber product, which was then painted. WC Roofing hired by word of mouth and through friends of current workers. Your dumbass fell off the roof last summer. Fabric! Jeez! Painter 1 was fatally injured worker. Painter 1 had minimal experience, little training, and had been employed since late July of 2018. With WC Roofing, Painter 1 had received no formal training in fall protection systems, equipment, or planning. Painter 1 had only a few jobs with WC Roofing during the 4 months they were with the employer. So brand new, fresh employee. These are the guys that get hurt the most. Brand new employees at a place, too scared to ask questions or question anything or speak up about safety or anything like that. The old guys usually just tell them to shut up or whatever, and that's the end of that, and that's why they get hurt. Painter number 2 had little to no work experience or training. So you put 2 guys now that have no experience or very little together. That's terrible. What a terrible combination to do. Painter 1, game over, yeah. Painter 2, little no work experience or training. Painter 2 had just begun their first job and first working day on this project. Supervisor 1 directed the work, transported the workers and equipment to the work site, and was responsible for quality control. Supervisor 1 was one of the 2 owners and had been running the company since 2014. Well, it doesn't sound like he was running it very well then. There was minimal equipment or materials incidental to this fatal injury. Supervisor 1 had dropped off equipment at the worksite and included a lifeline attached with 2 harnesses for Painter 1 and Painter 2. Okay, so they were there. According to statements of witnesses and Supervisor 1, the lifeline and harnesses were not being employed at the time of the incident. Additionally, Supervisor 1 used an extension ladder at a neighboring building to gain access to the worksite roof. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Painter 1 and 2 were provided with mops, buckets, rollers, extension poles, and paint to complete the roof painting project. Hey, Veritax. Hispanic roofers were working on the house behind yours, and you wonder if they were drinking because they had their Latin party music so loud. The other neighbor commented about how nobody fell off the roof, but some equipment they busted one of them. I think it was a leaf blower. I have no idea why the leaf blower was up on the roof to begin with. Yeah, who knows what their thought processes are. Harness does no good if you're not taught to. Yes. Up here in Alberta, you have to go to fall protection training where they teach you how to put on a harness. A lot of people don't know how to put one on properly and how to fit it to themselves. How to pick the right lanyard to use. This is all part of the fall protection program that you take. And you can't go up in any kind of elevated work platform or work up from heights if you don't have that fall protection training. Let's see. Fall protection equipment, 1 lifeline, and 2 attached harnesses. That Supervisor 1 stated had been dropped off with painters 1 and 2 at the incident site. They have dropped off in quotes, so it's like, did he actually drop it off to them? Lifeline, harness 1, harness 2. Lifeline. Okay. I was thinking it was going to be a steel wire lifeline, but it's just a rope. Sounds like the foreman or job supervisor needs to go back to retake his climb safety training. No, actually, he can be held accountable now for not providing sufficient supervision to these new guys. These guys are brand new. And he sounds like he just abandoned them. But we'll see. I'm just guessing. We'll see what the sequence of events says. Supervisor 1 transported painters 1 and 2 to the work site, and then they retrieved materials for the job. Cool roof paint and application equipment. Supervisor 1, with help of painters 1 and 2, used an extension ladder to gain access to the neighboring flat roof and brought up their materials. The neighboring flat roof allowed workers access to the convex roof of the Murad building that was to be painted. That sounds sketchy. I want to know if they use that like a bridge, that ladder. Supervisor 1 then left equipment, buckets, paintbrush, rollers by the base of the ladder and went to obtain additional equipment, mops and paintbrushes from their home and from a store. So he left them at site. Yep. When Supervisor 1 returned, painters 1 and 2 had completed about a third of the job. Supervisor 1 left the worksite again to obtain more materials and to complete an estimate for another roofing job. Supervisor 1 stated that they were in communications with Painter 1 intermittently during this time. Yeah, I'm sure they were. Supervisor 1 stated their last communication with Painter 1 was when Painter 1 called to state that they would be completed in about 10 minutes. This was probably 10 minutes prior to the incident occurrence at 2:45 p.m. Yeah, you'll be held. Yes, exactly, Alex. He should be held accountable. Harness and trading include the proper use of safe words. The safe word is banana. Okay. Painter 1 was located at the north end of the building, painting the final 1 meter section of roof when Painter 1 contacted the 13.8 kilovolt power line. So that's 13,000 volts, you guys. With either a hand or a painting equipment, was electrocuted and fell, sustaining fatal injuries. The 13.8 kilovolt power line ran along the alley directly parallel to the roof, less than 2 meters away from the peak of the roof. There is something called the safe limits of approach for power lines, and these guys should have spotted that, but they probably didn't do a job hazard assessment. Let's see. Okay, so A is the 13,000 volt power line. That's that right there. B is the unpainted roof section. Okay, we can see it right there. And C is the approximate location of Painter 1 at the time of contact. So he was right there. Huh. Yeah, electrical fails, DJ. It's electrical being shocked and then falling. So it's a double injury. And yeah, he was dead before he hit probably fabric. Probably it just zapped him and that was it. You're betting one of those painters actually had questions and the managers just brushed it off? For sure. For sure they did. They should have anyway. I mean, you put 2 brand new guys. What a waste. You know, there's a guy who's not going to go home to family or anything ever again. And what is that? What is that? They've got... Okay. It looks like a makeup air unit or something. But yeah, they should have hooked up their lines first, or they should have been hooked up or told how to hook them up. Okay, when Painter 1 contacted the power line, electrical current was conducted through the body and went to ground to the building. Scorch mark was noted by power line workers who responded to the incident. The scorch mark can be seen on the flashing north end of the building at the peak gable right there. You can see it right there. There's the flash mark. Not a harmless one, no, DJ, not at all. You've fallen far too many times in the last year, none of them from heights. Thank God, but some people do not take climbing on a ladder seriously. It's one of the most common accidents, falling off a ladder. Painter 1 fell approximately 9 meters to the base of the north end wall of the building and sustained fatal injuries. So that's 30 feet, you guys. He fell 30 feet from there down to there. Like, that is a big fall. Also, I'd like to see how far away the lines are from the building. You should have a certain distance away that they must be. And how he reached it, he must have used something. Guy falls off a roof. Sounds surprising. Guy flies off a roof after receiving high voltage shock. Why is this not shocking? Oh, wait, it was. Yes, it was. Very much so. A review of enforcement action was completed, and it was determined that the file would be referred to Alberta Justice for review. The entire file was sent to Alberta Justice. The Crown returned an opinion that charges were not recommended. Okay, so they did want to charge. Honestly, the guy should have been. You left your two very untrained, very brand new guys alone to work. And it looks like it's far enough away. Like, what are you thinking? Did he just reach out with his pole and contact that? You shouldn't have come into contact with that. It should be nowhere near the building. Probably worse, the person who gets held accountable. If he goes to jail, may lose his business, and all the people that relied on him, where do they go? I mean, they have to find jobs somewhere else, Veritax. Yeah, that's the thing. If the why wasn't this lifeline pulled out of the truck then? Why is it still in the back of the truck? That is the first thing they should have took up on the roof. Never mind everything else. Get your ladder, grab this thing, bring it up there, secure it. Get those guys to put their harnesses on. They have line grabs here, it looks like. Let me see. Yeah, that looks like it right there. That's a line grab. I'll show you. Right there. That looks like that should grab onto that rope and move around and be able to hold guys if they happen to fall. It should be on the other one somewhere. Okay, you can't see it. Anyways, this isn't how you treat fall arrest anyway. Your harnesses thrown in the back of a truck, all crumpled up like that, you don't do that. You treat them a lot better than that because they are saving your life. Like they gotta save your life. So you should treat them. Same with the lanyard. That thing gonna save your life. It has to take the weight of you falling and the sharp stop that happens. And if it's not in good shape, it's gonna fail and you're gonna die anyway. So to not die, treat your safety equipment very well. Take care of it. If it's no good, throw it away, get new one. It's like the stories of the guys that tie their lifeline to the bumper of a vehicle and someone drives up. Oh, man. Yeah, don't ever do that. Where was the flat roof they initially climbed on? You know what, Fabric? We can look for that because they gave us the address. Ladders are probably one of the worst job accidents. You're still afraid of ladders? It's a healthy fear, Alex. It's a healthy fear to have. Ladders are like guys reaching too far. Use the belly button rule. Keep your belly button between the rails of the ladder, otherwise you're going to fall off of it. If your belly button moves outside the rails, you're going to fall over. It's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop. True, so true. Let's see where this was. 10105 153rd Street. Okay. 10105 150 10105 153rd Street. Okay. We'll get a picture here. I can do this because, Google Maps. Okay, so there it is. That's the exact thing right there. That's the building. Go back to the Grand Canyon picture. So this must be it right here. This building here, because this is the one that they were working on. That must be the power lines right there. Not a very good picture. I wish I would have had more high definition, but whatever. So they must have used this building here, put the ladder up there and climbed up on top. Or climbed up on top of this one. Yeah, so there you go. Fabric. That's the building right there. So they go to apply for a new job. Somebody asked for references as well. My last job, 2 guys got blown off a roof when they touched high voltage lines. I mean, you're just being honest. If they ask you, well, why'd you leave well, the company shut down. I mean, that's all really you have to say. It's not lying. The company got shut down. If they want to press further, you can tell them. No, it's the amperage, Fabric. It's not the voltage, it's the amperage. The amperage is what really does you in. You did see some genius place their ladder in the back of a trailer to give themselves enough height and reach the roof. Ooh. Yep. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go and get a aerial work platform or something. You can get ones. They can go 80 feet high. You can get a 125-foot aerial platform. Like that's, okay. If you're not trained on it, yeah, you're going to still be dangerous and you might hurt yourself anyway. But it's better than falling off a ladder. Oh, you want to see if they might have contacted the line from the roof trying to bridge it. I see. Shouldn't have. You're thinking maybe they climbed up that way? Ah. Yeah, I wish they would have went into a little more detail as to how they were accessing the roof. I know they said from an adjacent building, which would be this one. Okay. This supervisor leaving and not sticking around with them, that's a big problem. I have a big problem with that. Ask your local lesbians for a scissor lift. R.I.P. Scott Adams. Scott Adams. You presume a roof door on one of the buildings? I know, it doesn't make sense to me either, Fabric. I'm like, did he reach out and touch it? Like, what happened? What made him... Yeah, stupid visor, yeah. Power equals voltage times current. Yep. Oh, the Dilbert guy. Dilbert artist. Oh, did he pass? I didn't mind Dilbert. You know, silly comic strip about working in cubicles and all that. That's too bad. Yeah, supervisor leaving with 2 new guys. That's it. Yeah. Godzillionaire, you get it. Yeah, amperage gets you because it interferes with the impulses that control your heart. Yes, there you go. I don't think it's Douglas Adams, DJ. Oh, was it cancer that got him? Oof. That's rough. Yeah, I know. Fabric, it looks a good 8 feet away. So how, yeah, what was he doing? Was he screwing around? Did he not know? Like, you're painting the roof. Stay away from those wires. Don't touch them. Oh, he wasn't public about it until last summer. It was stage 4 by then. Okay. Well, there we are. Be careful up on the roof, you guys. Also, remember your safe limits of approach for power lines. Don't go near them. I think, you know, for the higher the voltage, the further away you're supposed to stay. I think 25 feet for 25,000 volts or something like that. Stay that far away. Because no good is going to come of that. Oh, Douglas was the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All right, we're throwing out all the pop culture stuff today. Next up. Yeah, when it comes to power lines, don't. Just don't. Always look up. Look around for the power lines. Just to make doubly sure. If you're operating a power or an elevated work platform, look around. Just take a step back, look around. Is there any power lines around? And then note where they are. Make sure you don't drive over there. Yeah, you call those witchcraft masters called electricians or sparkies or elecchickens. You got a hot wife, so hopefully he forged good memories. Yeah? Let's hope so. Hi. If you're not a linesman, stay off the lines. Yes. Let's look at the subtitle I put for the stream was Get a Grip. And it ties into what I was working on. We got a cylinder valving machine. So this is pretty neat. I got it queued up here. Okay, I'm going to have to go like this. Gonna have to do a screen capture here. Or display capture. Let's go like that and like that. There we go. Okay. Give this one a watch, fellas.
Hi, I'm Marshall Burr with Galiso Incorporated, and we need to talk a little bit here about cylinder safety. A compressed gas cylinder is an incredible source of energy at full pressure. And prior to any inspection or testing, we need to verify that that pressure is exhausted and that the valve is properly working before we remove that valve. You can evacuate the gas into the atmosphere if that's appropriate, or you can reclaim the gas into another container.
So we don't exhaust gases to atmosphere because it's deadly poison. We will put it into a flare stack. So it'll be connected to a hose, and it'll get sent to a flare, because that's the way to dispose of ones. And this is ones that are empty. They come back, but obviously there's residual, so what you have to do is you have to get rid of the residual to fill it up with new product. You've always loved how the Germans called them Zylindas. Oh yeah, das Zylinder. What's in the cylinder? Marshall?
Whatever your standard procedure might be. But the first thing you want to do when you're venting a cylinder is
yes, so blah blah, deadly poison, we burn it to something. Yeah.
Stand away from the nozzle. The nozzle can be a fairly strong amount of pressure, and just stand clear of that nozzle. And we want to listen for venting. Sometimes this can be difficult in a noisy shop. We can also feel the pressure escaping once it's reached a moderate level. And we wait until that venting is completely exhausted.
Also, wear earplugs. These things are loud. You're going to hurt your ears. I know he doesn't have very much pressure in there, so I don't know, DJ. I don't know what he's got in it. He might tell us. It looks like it might just be air. I don't think it would be flammable gas he'd be doing that with. Probably just oxygen, or not even just that. Probably maybe even breathing air. Marshall looks like a nitrous man.
More pressure, or what we assume is no more pressure in the cylinder. Then we want to take a blowgun, and what we recommend.
You wish it was helium and you started talking like a chipmunk voice? Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. And then we'll open up the cylinder and we'll turn it up higher and higher.
Is a rubber tip and a small diameter supply line. This one's a 5/32.
That is small for supply.
We put the rubber tip right in the nozzle. Just give it a few seconds of air, and then close the valve. And then reopen the valve and verify that your cylinder is breathing. Now the air is truly moving through the valve. You can also use a safety tip nozzle, but we prefer the rubber tip to seal around the orifice. You just have to leave it on there just a little bit longer.
Once again, it's also noisy like crazy. You got him doing it this way. Yeah, find a rubber tipped one if you can, and that way it makes that seal.
And then verify that the valve is working. Close it. Open it. Listen and feel. Now, if you know your cylinder is pressurized and you open the valve and nothing comes out, no feel, no pressure, no sound, you know you've got a problem.
You can tell it's not oxygen because it's not green or red. Also, there should be stickers all over that thing about what is in there, whether it's Wemyss or whatever they're using. You have to have a sticker on there to say what is in there.
So we need to verify that. And it'll feel different. You'll push on it and it just won't go anywhere, whether it's open or closed. Never take these cylinders for granted. Even if you assume that it's under a low pressure and that maybe you can get the valve out and let it bleed through the threads.
So this is why I'm showing you guys this, so you understand. The machine I'm going to show you removes and installs the valves on these cylinders.
Don't even attempt it. Never attempt to take a valve out of a cylinder that has not been exhausted. There are seasoned veterans who have been in this industry for years that have been killed trying to remove a valve knowingly with pressure in the cylinder. So don't ever remove a valve without taking a few seconds to verify that it's safe.
Okay, so there should be one of them using that machine. There should be one. Is this it? Okay, the collar removing tool. Okay, it popped it right off there. Wow. Here's the devalver. Okay, this is the machine that we use. So it clamps onto the valve there. So there you go. Then you want to tighten the valve on. Clamp it. And then spin it on. And you can set this with a air. This is all air operated. So there you go. So that is the Galizo Valver. And the reason I showed you guys this is because I have my video. Guy looks like Quebec Flanders. Addly doodly there, Neberino. Here we go. A little bit of Jesse for you. While I grab my video. Hang on. Let's get back here. This thing takes up all the space. There we are. Okay. Gotta catch them both. Double D's, I choose you. Noticing a trend on those browser backgrounds? Yes, yes you are. All right. This is our machine. This is the one that was working on. I had to look at this machine because they were complaining about the regulator was passing. So I had to come and check what was going on. You can see all the connections in here. There's the filter and a lubricator for the air line, because you want to keep your air to help lubricate the devices. So a lot of air connections. And these are all compression fittings that they're connected to, so they're easily removed, like push-on fittings. There's the head there that actually grabs the valve. And there's the clamp. This thing clamps onto the cylinder to keep it from turning. So it clamps onto it, and then the other piece clamps onto the valve, and it removes it. And it's, Galizo. Those are the guys. And then we've got the controls. There's the regulators. You can set the torque. You can set the clamping force. Those things need replaced because they're terrible. That's the torque adjustment and clamp control. There's the activating lever. So yeah, there's the regulator. That's the one I had to pull out to check it over. I had to take it apart, check the internals, and I put it back together, and it worked. So it's good. It's always good when you can take something apart, put it back together, and it actually works again. But I'm going to go buy a spare anyway. We don't have a spare, so I'm going to buy one just in case. And I also wanted to show you guys in the building, when you have a building with in-floor heating and the boiler quits, which is what we had happen on some of the coldest days. The boiler quit. It gave up. It's too old. It's like, I think the building was built in the late 90s and the boiler was put in and it's just too old. And so it gave up. And now something blasting off. So as you can see, there's water on the floor from the ice or from the snow that was brought in. And then I wanted to show you guys the temperature inside the building. Here's the temperature inside the building. This is what happens when you don't have your boiler working at all. You are in the negatives Celsius. You are 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's in the building. Here's the other machine we use for the cylinders, and this one is what does the filling and purging. This actually does the purging. It doesn't do the filling. It's connected to the an air duct to pull away any noxious gases. And you have the stainless steel hose there. That's what helps drain out all of the residual gases in there. And there's the clamps that clamp onto it because it tips it over so that you can get all the material out. So yes, we call that the tipping machine, and it does all right. But yes, water on the floor because the snow melted, but then the boiler quit. And now it's like working in a refrigerator, because there is no heat now. So there's a big push now to push management to buy a new boiler. They wanted the plant manager wanted to just repair it, but the boiler is undersized. So we're going to push for replacement and get it sized bigger so it can provide better heat in the building. Yeah, and there's the tipping machine. Helps clean out the old cylinders because you gotta always clean them out before you fill them up with new product. And there we go. That's picture time, fellas. Gotta watch those blue Pokeballs. And just a little thing. I was talking with the Comic Relief Crusader. He's a fellow Albertan like me, and he was talking about the Alberta Prosperity Project. And this is a referendum on Alberta sovereignty. So it's just to get away from... That's a peek at those Jews. Yeah, they are. But yes, the sovereignty here, it's to get away from being ruled by Ottawa. We send a lot of transfer payments to Ottawa and get nothing in return. You know, all of Canada demonizes us for, getting our oil from the oil sands. But they sure don't care when the money comes their way. But they all scream environment and such like that. And they try to punish us. But when the money comes out of here and goes to them, they don't care where it comes from. They just pulled their hand out and shut up. So this is all about everybody voting on this question. Do you agree that province of Alberta should cease to be a part of Canada to become an independent state? And I'm going to say yeah. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, they take your money and talk trash. I don't know if it's the same with you guys. If you have transfer payments, do the richer states pay the poorer states? Like, do they give them money? Is that a thing? Does Washington take all the money and redistribute it to poorer states? Vote for Trump to send Delta Force in for PM. Please do. Please send Delta Force. He's a terrible human being. I don't want him here anymore. But yeah, just a little something. I don't get too political, but this is something that may happen. I mean, it would be... I remember the Quebec referendum where it was like 51.9 to 49.1. It was so close. It was almost 50-50, and the Quebec stayed in Canada. So I wholeheartedly wanted them to leave, but they didn't. But hopefully it's hopefully it's going to be different than for Quebec was. If Alberta can, it might be better for us. And I'm all for being better. I'm tired of giving my money to those morons in Ottawa. The poorer states are red, so there's no way they'd redistribute money to them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It all goes in the federal bucket to pay for foreign aid to Ukraine. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wanted to mention that, fellas, just so you know what's going on. Oh, would you look at that? That's a nice little Christmas scene there. Something I did this myself, you know. A little bit of working in GIMP, not Photoshop, because F Adobe. I use GIMP. All right. I think I'll start wrapping things up here. I just want to thank everybody that came out today. It was nice seeing you all. Taxpayers getting tax money. What a concept. Yeah, we had a lot of you fellas come out today. It was good. Too many gifts to unwrap there. I'd like to find that under the tree. Hey. Make sure to hit that like button, fellas, and watch as much as you can. My views and my watch hours have like tanked, and I'm pretty sure it's because YouTube is just burying me. Like Comic Relief Crusader said he couldn't even find my stream on Saturday, and I'm like, no man, I was streaming. I was there. So make sure you're still getting notifications, I guess, from my channel. I don't know. I try to advertise on Twitter or X, and I always put out a little thing on the community page for YouTube. I don't know what more I could do. If you guys can think of something I could do to really get the word out, then yeah, I'll do it. Let me know. But there's other guys to watch too. When I'm not streaming, you'll want to tune into like Pacific 414 or DJ Ronnie G, who's in the chat, or Brandon the Anime Guy, or Carl at the RNG Podcast, or Infinite Metal. He's on Kick and Twitch. You can watch Call Me Kixie. She's on YouTube and Twitch. And don't forget, Aris streams as well. Want to catch Aris when he's streaming. Coming up, you guys, on Saturday, more Odin Sphere. I'm playing as Prince Cornelius, who got turned into a bunny. So I have to work my way through his storyline. DJ, you get notified on Saturdays, but you always wake up late from ramblings at L's. Make sure you remember to watch you while you're on L's. Oh, that's fine, DJ. It's no problem. And we'll hopefully remember if you see the notification or not. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. YouTube probably just like, nah, you guys don't need to watch this guy. Okay, so that's Saturday. Sunday. On Sunday Anime Chat, we continue on with the theme of the 1980s. 1980s anime. You love it. I love it. We're going to show some real great shows. You guys are going to freaking love it. And I know because you always mention the shows that you want to see. So maybe I will just capitulate and show you some of those shows. But that's on Sunday, 9 a.m. sharp. And then we're back to Tuesday again, where it's more trades talk. More looking at things from an industrial point of view and checking out what's going on out in industry. And we'll take a look at more accident reports and, more pictures, more videos. So more Robotech. I knew you would bring that up. It may show up, It might. It just might show up. But I bet you it gets copyright claimed if I play any kind of video of it. I can do still images, but Harmony Gold or whoever is watching over it for them, they're a bunch of phallic-sucking reprobates, so... Aris is standing on Reggie's skateboard in the thumbnail. Oh! I know Reggie had a skateboard. Well, I believe that's it for me tonight, fellas. Yeah, stupid Harmony Gold. Yeah, let's get the old Harmony Gold hate train going. Those guys, they ruined it. They ruined it for years. What's Robotech? Don't you start, DJ. Really should do a worst anime you shouldn't watch month. Cautionary. I did awful anime in April last year. I can always do that again because there's always terrible ones out there. But yeah, April was for awful anime. Stuff that's just like, why did I watch this? And I wasted my life. Reggie used it to effect repairs on the station. Nice. Legend of Galactic Heroes. Hey, that's a classic, but it's also super long. But yeah, I've heard good things about that fabric. I do want to... because this season is a little bit better for me with only having 10 shows to watch, I can expand my views and watching some other stuff. Like our dinner anime is One Punch Man Season 2. So we're watching Season 2 of One Punch Man. Or maybe overrated anime. Yeah, Godzillionaire. I mean, that's good too. Yeah, overrated. That's actually a good, that's a good one to think about. Go over and like, okay, this anime is way overrated. It's a great show. You actually recently revisited deinterlacing your copy of it on Blu-ray. Oh, okay. So they got Legend of the Galactic Heroes on Blu-ray. That's good. Overrated Evangelion. Bleach. What got me about Bleach is that it came back. Like, it was gone for 10 years, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're doing our 1,000-year Blood War. And it's like, wow, you took 10 years to get 1,000-year Blood War taken care of? Like, you guys missed the boat. You know, Bleach was popular, and then all of a sudden it was gone. And it's like, man, oh man, Bleach. Honestly, I think it should have ended when Aizen was defeated by Ichigo. But nope. They beat it like a dead horse. I'm gonna need some help to figure out overrated shows though, because it's like what do I consider overrated? Without the filler, Bleach is actually really good. You just got to remove 1/3 of the series, kind of like Naruto. Oh, I was so angry. I think Naruto was the first one I learned about filler in, because at episode 130, that's when they started filler, and they didn't stop until episode 220. So from 130 to 220 is all filler. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is ridiculous, the amount of filler they had. Any Dragon Ball, but the original series is overrated and should be considered fanfic. Yeah, they can stop actually with the Dragon Ball now. Now that Akira Toriyama's passed, they should just stop with the Dragon Ball. That's enough. Like, okay, Goku is the strongest fighter. Okay. Yeah, big deal. So what? The fillers are why you stopped. That's why you learned about Naruto grew up. You were blown away. Yeah, Godzilla. Naruto and Bleach had filler seasons. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, as far as Dragon Ball is concerned, they can just stop with the Dragon Ball now. That's enough. Hang on. Filler for One Piece is not as bad. It's also there isn't as much. And even if it is filler, it's good filler. But it just might be because my One Piece bias might be showing. So, yeah. One really long piece. It is. I'm keeping up with it though. I'm reading the manga, keeping up. We're watching when they come out on physical copies, the waifu and I, we watch them. Good filler? Sounds like copium? Yes. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I am a One Piece fan, so I was watching it before it was cool. Only episodes 226 and 612 aren't filler. And don't forget the movies too. The movies are sort of side stories. They're not meant for the main story. Simping for Nami? No, of course I wouldn't. What are you talking about? Just because I want like a life-size statue. I don't simp for Nami, you guys. What are you talking about? Gotta monetize the channel for that light-size statue. Just because he makes her make Mrs. Mechanic cosplayer at every con doesn't mean he's simping. Yeah. Tell him, Fabric. Where is that? See if I can't find that. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. At the One Piece store. Fully life-size. I gotta save up. Maybe we'll do a subathon or something. She's no shoo-shoo. Yeah. True, she's no shoo-shoo. Yeah. We'll get a life-size one of shoo-shoo. All right, fellas, I'm going to call it a night there. Giant lollies, there's no substitute. No, there is not. We also can't wait for the next episode of Chain Soldier. So, hey, make sure you guys watch that. Things are getting good. I hope to see you guys around when I'm streaming again, which will be on Saturday and Sunday, or stop by next week again on Trades Talk Tuesday. We'll have some more fun times. Hope to see you guys then. Until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.